exactly what this is about. At the beginning of the program tonight, we saw a video clip which really just did reinform what Kenny was saying about it's not about the flashy bits, it's about the work that you do. But what you'll find on the journey to become a very good athlete is understanding where your ability comes from. And along this journey, you're going to make choices that are going to actually influence that. Part of this program is actually going to help you understand a bit more about you and a little bit more about that ability and a bit more about those choices you're going to make. And I just share a quick story with you about Hamish Carter. He was talking to us around this, and I've shared it before with some people, but he stood up to it. Hamish Carter is a triathlete, for those of you who don't know me. He's one of New Zealand's successful ones. He won a gold medal in the Olympic Games, and he said, the one thing I did, I learned to train hard for 10 years, but I didn't achieve anything. I didn't achieve my goal. I didn't finish my journey. And he said it was after the disappointment of the Sydney Olympic Games that it actually made him stand up and have a choice. Do I carry on for another Olympic Games to try and achieve my goal? Or do I give up? Or do I actually start to take ownership for what I was actually doing? So Ozzy said, after 10 years, I was a good trainer. I could train hard, but I wasn't smart. I didn't own what I was doing. And he said that was the big change in him. He took ownership of his destiny. He actually created the awareness of what he had to do to be good. And then he took responsibility for it and went on and did it. And this is what Pathway to Podium is about. It's going to actually expose you to things, coaches, parents and athletes, around what it is to be in these performance environments and high performance environments. So that when you do have to make choices, you're going to make a good choice that's going to be right for you. So the program, it's not a high performance program, and it's not a complete talent development program, but it is about education and development. It's about around the program contents and what you have available to you, the support that you can get with you. So it's a program that's been developed by High Performance Sport. And that's the exciting part. It's the best we've got in New Zealand. They're right behind us. So that in itself is just a real plus for what we've got here. And the other thing for us in Wellington is that we have the connection very close here with High Performance Sport in Wellington. And the providers that we're using within the program are some of the best around the country. They're basically leads in their areas, a lot of them. So where does the program sit? Just give you a little bit of an overview. If we look at where you sit and where the program sits, it's like I said before, we're a bit of a family with what we're doing within the group, but we're also, there's a big connection outside of it. The Talent Pathway looks in the community sport environment, the developing athlete. You guys, as athletes, are what we call the emerging ones. You're transitioning now into a performance environment with the aim to get you into a high performance environment. Okay, you guys sit right up here, right next to that line. Stephen mentioned it before, you're a carded athlete when you come into here. The category 1 carded are these ones, basically your fellow Adams and those sort of athletes that are winning gold medals, the rowers winning gold medals, are right at the far end here. Okay, you guys are about 1 to 3 years away from transitioning into becoming a carded athlete where you get full support. Okay, coaches, same thing. You're operating you probably operate in here, many of you, taking a whole array of athletes, but your athletes are right in this area here. If we look at it in another way, okay, you're right here, you guys are in a regionally delivered program that's going to be nationally led. You're some of you, 8 to 11 years away before you're going to reach your journey down there. Come into what we call high performance development, okay, which is where you're probably a carded athlete, but in the lower grades of that, okay, and you've got quite a long way to go through there to where you come into our category 1 graded carding athletes where you're out gold medal. You're into a nationally led program there and nationally delivered, and obviously you're into your program there at that end there because you are a high performance athlete. So what basically you're seeing there is that, and we've sort of talked about it a lot, and you're all quite aware of it, this yellow line going there is the rocky road that you're going to go on. It's not going to be straightforward all the time. But what Pathway to Podium is again about is actually trying to make it as smooth as it can be. You know, athletes are going to come in and they're going to drift out. Okay, some are going to come in later and come on up here. Some of you may actually make it into here within 4 years. Okay, we don't know. But basically that's what some research was showing. Someone can make it to become a world Olympic champion within 4 years of them coming into a high performance environment. Others can take a lot longer. Okay. So what we've got within the program generally is you're going to be in this program for probably 2 to 3 years. We'd hope 2, okay, because we'd like to think you've transitioned after 2 years. You're going to have, basically Sport New Zealand are funding you, it doesn't sound a lot at the moment, but $600 per athlete, okay, to help get you along the way. Within that, Sport Wellington is going to actually be going out there getting with its partners and creating more opportunities for you. So we're sort of collaborating and leveraging off others that are out there that are going to help create this sort of big unit that we need, this family of support for you people. Things like that, from the coaching perspective, is that there's relationships we're working on around getting support in program planning, testing programs, so it's not going to cost anymore. There's people out there that want to help, and this is the exciting part of it, that the actual knowledge that's going to be brought into your programs is not going to be left to chance so much. You're actually going to have outcomes that are actually being planned and progressed through the whole program. You're also going to have access to high performance support services, and that's, as I said before, is one of the exciting parts for it. But the big thing that's going to drive it is the individual programs that are going to be developed for you. So the personal programs, and that's going to be developed through your New Zealand, through your NSO, your National Sporting Organisation, in collaboration with your coach, and then that's going to be going through the High Performance Sport New Zealand. One of the things we've got to work out with the program as it does develop is the time factor that's going on to the program leads within the national sporting organisations. So High Performance Sport at the moment are going to take a little bit of ownership of that. And again, that's a real advantage because you're getting the best people involved looking at what these IPP plans are about. So where I come into that is I then work with the coach and the athlete, and we in many ways monitor it and monitor your program just to make sure that things are on track, so that when the road does get a little bit bumpy, we can have a look at it and then go back to your national sporting organisation and just discuss through it with aspects that may need to change, things that are going really well. But it's focused about performance outcomes so that you're actually getting what you need. So the IPP will have probably up to 5 outcomes, goal outcomes, and within that are the process goals, which are the more important ones to help you achieve some of those outcome goals. And that's where we will be working quite closely. So the collaboration is quite close between the NSO, the coach, the athlete, working together to really make this happen for you. So you're probably going to get exposure to a lot more resources to what you've had before. What we've put together here in Wellington is the program. As I said before, there's 4 primary components to the fundamentals of it. Everything is aimed around helping you as the athlete to actually understand the environment. The key ones that are high performance sport, the foundation components are performance nutrition, performance psychology, athlete life, and a little bit about strength and conditioning. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We've added in media skills. We've added in a mentoring program, which probably around, not so much a formal type mentoring program, but a group of athletes that you could call on to talk and discuss things. They're there just to support you again. And we've also added in what are you worth, and that's around the funding components. What are you worth as an athlete? How do you market yourself? How do you promote yourself? As your parents are fully aware, it's expensive. This is not a cheap area to push your athletes through, and it's part of the reason why high performance sport are investing in it, or why people in the past never did, because it is expensive. But what high performance sport is seeing is there's too many athletes going into the high performance environment that are not ready for it. So they fail. They fall off it. They're just not equipped to deal with what the expectations are. So these are the primary components of what the program's about. There's 2 objectives really with it. One is delivering a world-leading performance support of our athletes and coaches. So coaches, you're fully involved in all of these programs. There's absolutely no point just athletes going to those and getting some key messaging and concepts when you guys may not be thinking the same way. So the alignment has to be the same. Parents, the same thing. You're involved in these as well. So everyone's involved to come to these workshops and actually fully participate in the program. So the workshops will be delivered as a group. When the IPP process will then sort of look into it and think, well, if there needs to be one-on-one areas, then that opportunity will be created for you. So some people may need more help with their nutrition than others, and if it's identified through the IPP process, then we will arrange for you to have one-on-one sessions with that lead provider. Same with psychology, same with strength and conditioning, and the same with athlete life. Okay. Within the program as well, as I said, with the coaches, there's an opportunity, there's specific coaching courses for you on this as well. Paralleling with this program is also Performance Coach Advanced. It's a wider program that's involving more coaches than what's just on the PTP. You coaches that aren't on Performance Coach Advanced will also be invited to some of the workshops that are in today's as well. So there's a fantastic learning opportunity. It's again about alignment, everybody being singing off the same sheet. Okay, so that we're actually developing very good coaches who understand the needs of what these athletes need as they progress through into the pathways. And as I said before, parents are encouraged, please, to come to the workshops. It's important that you understand what your athletes are going through and actually being taught in these things. So you play a massive part in the whole development of them. It was really rewarding to hear it. We just had the Wellington City Council Talent Development Certificate presentation last week. We had 2 athletes up here getting interviewed, and it was really rewarding to hear the key influence in their life, in their sporting success, was their family. Both of them said it by themselves. You know, and in many ways today we tend to see other things, you know, my coach, you know, someone sponsored me and all this thing. But both of them were so sincere about the fact their parents were there, and that meant more to them than anything in their life. So it's pretty special really when you actually got good kids like that coming up with some stuff they really appreciate with what they're doing. So just to give you a little bit of an insight more into some of these, the Athlete Life program is probably one of the most critical that you're going to be coming into. In many areas, in many ways, you know, athletes' progression is blocked by what we call interference a lot of the time. Their lives are complex. You know, it's about the planning process around, you know, how they're actually going to manage their life to be able to do the training that's required, to do the schoolwork that's required, and then to actually deal with friends. It's identifying what's important to them at different times of the year. So what we've got within this program is basically developing your personal leadership qualities. So the big thing around the goal setting, understanding what goal setting is, how real it is. Coming into your career and education, job preparation, education support as you want if you're going into tertiary studies. So those people are going to be here to help you actually make good decisions and transition into these things. If you want to go out and start working, again, these people are there to help you actually how to go about that and make good decisions. Big one, managing finances. It's tough out there at the moment being a performance athlete. It costs, and you're going to have to travel, you're going to have to get sponsorship, you're going to have to come up with a plan around how you do it. Again, this program is about that, to try and help you to actually how to go about that. And then managing your sport lifestyle. Some of you have to relocate at times. Some of you you need to learn how to manage the change agent, professionalism, how you act out there all the time. So this is key to actually unblocking the blockages that quite often hinder the development of athletes as they come up into this high performance area. The commitment required is huge, so you need to be organised, and it affects you all. So again, coaches, parents, this is going to be a real good opener. And again, like I said, we've got one of the best in the country leading this, in Helen Regan, and she's really excited to come on board and actually start to work with you guys. Some of you will be doing one-on-ones in this because it's going to be an area that's going to be of real importance to you. Okay. Again, the program is over 2 years. Okay, so you're in it for the 2 years of the life cycle of that. Performance psychology. So just as our athlete life allows you to recognise a lot of the barriers that are going on in your life, performance psychology gives you, equips you really of how to deal with them, gives you the tools about how to deal with that side of it. So the day-to-day demands of a high-performance cycle, your competition requirements and your training requirements. So there's going to be a big program, especially around coping skills. So again, over a 2-year program, the first year is really the introduction to the mind. It gets you to understand a little bit about processes that are going on in there. Just some of the real basics again. There's a lot of things that get repeated in this, but in different ways. So as I said before, coaching is about the reality of what you've got to achieve, how to get the best out of you all the time. Yes, there is going to be a bit of work too, because that's how we learn. Okay, there's going to be quite a bit involved in that, and it's just not just for the athletes, but coaches as well. You'll be involved. There's a special course for the coaches involved in psychology, and there's going to be one in Performance Coach Advanced. So they're going to work together in how we actually create more knowledge around this area to bring the best out of you and out of the athletes, and to deal with the environment you're working in all the time. So performance psychology is a big area that. Again, in year 2 it gets repeated, some of the key front area, but then reflective work, okay, about how, again, we can keep improving in that performance environment. Coach is a big one. Coaching under pressure, how you manage yourself, okay, how you keep going, how you keep that belief going that what you're doing is good and right, that you've got that support network. And this is where it's all going. We're building more support around everybody, and it's key to the success of it. We learn how to actually go and get that support. Sometimes in New Zealanders, we're not good at doing that. We're not good at asking for help. And this is part of what our program is going to be trying to present to you. The other components, like we've strength and conditioning, it's a big component of what some sports are going into. Some coaches, I guess actually before I go into that, one of the big things I think as a coach in the program and a coach in general, you've got to be able to talk to these people about their stuff that these experts talk about, because you might not agree with them, okay, and that's okay, but you've got to know it, you've got to understand this stuff, and that's part of where this program's coming from you people, is that, hey, philosophically, you may not believe in lifting weights, okay, and that's cool, and that's fine, but you need to be able to talk to these guys about what you believe, and how it's going to help get the best out of these things, because again, it comes back to the athlete, what's good. So these guys are open to that, and they understand that. But so for us, it's to give you the confidence in what you can do as a coach to talk and get the best of what you think for the athlete that you're coaching. So strength and conditioning, as I said before, there's going to be a muscle screening component that basically they will do in high performance sport here, and then they will write a program in collaboration with the coach and with the program lead from the National Sporting Organisation. So they will be talking with them, and most of the high performance, NSO high performance groups have a strength and conditioner attached to them. The good thing about what we've got here is as Steve said, there's a network of strength and conditioning people around the country. They're constantly talking to each other. So just because one sport has someone based in Hamilton who runs the strength and conditioning program, doesn't mean to say they're not talking to the people here. They are. Okay? They're totally aligned to what they're doing. So again, can't reiterate enough, it's about you as the athlete. So it's very important that we all understand that. We have 3 options basically here. Some of you who are in the Wellington City Council program are working in there already, and you'll maintain working in there for you because they can deal with you. The newer people that are coming into the program, what high performance sport also do in strength and conditioning, they have a lot of what they call interns. A lot of people want to get into this environment. There's very good people wanting to operate in this environment. So they work with an intern. And what we're trying to do is then put an intern with you to go to a gym of your choice where you work with, and where you can work out. So whatever is convenient for you. For you people who can't get into here, it's a hassle. If you may live out in Porirua or way out in Upper Hutt, there are other gyms you can go and associate and work with. But the program will be monitored by these guys through your NSO and with the coach as well. But they will be the ones who will monitor it. So you'll come in every 6 weeks to get monitored and tested to see where the progression is going and how the program is going. Okay. So I guess what we're trying to protect there is that the quality of the program is number 1. Okay. And as we sit down and go through the IPP, so coaches, as we go through that process with you, we'll talk about it a little bit more, about how it's going to work for you. It's about what you guys want. It's not, we're not saying this is what you have to do. It's more, we've got a range of options, but we're very flexible about how it's going to work in that sense, okay? So what will work for you there. The other area that we've brought into it is media skills, and we're really lucky. We're rapt to have Jason Pine. He was so keen to do this component and be involved in this program. And a lot of that is really about just getting understanding about the role of media, how it plays in your life as a developing athlete, as a coach, and to get familiarisation about, again, the messaging that you're giving out there. You know, you have a responsibility, I guess, for yourself, number one, but also for your sport. You're still representing your sport out there. And also it's going to touch into the social media and how you can best utilise that and some of the traps that people seem to get themselves into. The other part is that it's going to have a lot of play acting in it, doing interviews. So there's going to be a big component of actually doing stuff and ultimately leading to you doing a live radio interview. Okay? We want you guys to be able to talk. Okay? And it's important you can tell a story. People love stories. And that's really what it's about. Okay? And if you can do that, remember, you know your story. No one else knows it. It's you. Okay? So, and these are the things that we're going to try and expose you to, so that you can feel comfortable out there. And you know, you could listen to someone like Kenny all day. He's just natural at it. And you know, that just doesn't happen. It comes through the experiences you have and the awareness of what you've been doing and all that sort of thing. But that's really where Jason Pine is just so keen to work with you people and to help come across it. And again, parents, coaches, fully involved into that one there. The other area is nutrition. It's a huge part of the course. There's 4 workshops throughout the year. There's 2 where it's got all of you coaches, athletes, and parents together. As you know, that you're the bank, so you have the fridge, and it probably gets emptied quite a lot because of the appetites of these people. But it's about the performance nutrition. What's preparation for competitions, what your recovery foods are like, and just getting wise around those areas. There's then going to be again another course for just for coaches to understand a little bit more about especially recovery foods and competition foods. And then there's going to be a specific one for parents, again around a lot about the stuff that you can deal with, okay? The options you've got and the types of foods you can buy and all that sort of thing. So again, pretty exciting. I think there's a lot of neat learning to go on and a fantastic array of courses that we're sort of offering. As I said briefly before, the mentoring side of it is really more informal, and it's just going to have people there available to help you. So that's an overview. Where to from here? The next month's going to be about sitting down with you individually and working through the IPP process. The NSOs, some of them are onto it now and a lot aren't, and so there is going to be teething issues with this, a brand new program, but again we'll start the process and get to know you, get to know what your needs are, and then we'll start working through that forming that IPP. My role within it really is to support you guys, okay, and the athletes in particular. I'm a point of contact for anything you need. We're here to go and find things that are going to help make your journey easier, okay, and to support where your challenges are. Coaches, the same thing. I'm here to actually work with you guys and actually help you to talk if you need to with the NSO or high performance sport. Again, I'm the neutral person within it, okay? So the primary aim is that you achieve your goals. Okay? I will play a critical friend at times with the IPP process to ensure that what you are doing is thought through and thorough. But that's again helping to protect the integrity of what the program is about. Calendar of workshops is just the dates getting finalised right now. So I think, as you can imagine, these program leads have got a lot of things they're doing, and it's trying to find the right dates. Athletes, I sent you out that thing about just data that I need back from you, if you could do that straight away, because that has a big influence of when you're away. Again, we just need to know that sort of stuff. So there's a whole range of stuff on there, and I understand that it takes time, but it's important information that we need straight up just to help get the program going. So are there any questions on this? Is there anything that you'd like to go into? As I said before, just ring me at times as well. I don't mind. It's all what it's about. So it's a pretty good quick overview. Got these little booklets which goes into a little bit more detail about some of the programs, the program detail and content. And yeah, we're just really excited about it. As I said at the beginning, this is something new, and it's something that's been needed in New Zealand sport. And you guys that are on it are the lucky ones straight away. But it's the beginning, and gee, what an exciting it should be for you all. So if there is anything, just sing out, and otherwise, I'd like to thank you so much for giving your time up tonight, and drive safely home, and look forward to catching up with you again.
Thank you.